Welcome to KELA's Let's Talk About It. Discussions on a variety of topics of interest to Southwest Washington area listeners. Write down our listener call-in number and keep it handy. 330-5352. That's 330-KELA. You're invited to join in with your calls now at 330-KELA. Views expressed on this show are those of the host, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of the station, its management, or advertisers. Daily programs are recorded for playback, podcasts, and promotional purposes. And now, let's talk about it.
Good morning. Welcome to KELA AM. Let's talk about it. I am your host, Chad Taylor. You made it to the fastest 30 minutes in radio. And I have a special little guest for you today. And before we get to that, give us a call if you would like after you hear the topics. I think you might want to join in. Area code 360-330-5352. Stream us live online, KELAAM.com. And past episodes, they're available if you want to download them. Normally people don't want to because one time is plenty. My special guest is shaking his head. It's the one and only Representative Peter Abbarno, Volunteer of the Year, Peter Abbarno, Person of the Year, Peter Abbarno. What else am I missing? My goodness.
That was a long time ago.
Okay.
That was 2020.
Well, hey, those are some pretty prestigious awards. Congratulations. Thank you for all you do in our community. And I wanted Peter to come in today for several reasons. A few of them are some of the volunteer things that you do. I wanted to hear about a couple of the events coming up because I know you know all the information about them. And then I want to try and get to you giving us some explanations of what happened within the caucus this year for leadership stuff and how you feel about the upcoming legislative session. It's going to be a fun one. Peter, welcome to the show.
All right. Thanks, Chad. It's always great to be here again. I love radio, love KELA and KMNT. They've always been good to me, especially when I hosted this show.
Yeah.
But it's, obviously, talking about how much I love this community. One of my favorite events all year is the Turkey Trot tomorrow morning, 8:30 over at Thorbeck's in Chehalis.
No rain.
No rain. It'll be probably in the 40s or 50s. It's a great event. So I grew up in Buffalo, New York. People mostly know that. And the longest foot race in America is the Turkey Trot in Buffalo, New York. And so as a little kid, I probably have only missed like 2 Turkey Trots in my entire life.
Really?
And it's always been a family tradition to wake up, go do the Turkey Trot, then come home. The guys would sit around the fire and drink their bourbon and brandy, and we would be cooking and
watching football.
Yeah. So when so one of the great opportunities I had is to partner as a law firm with Thorbeck's to do this. I think the last 10 years, it's probably the last 10 years or so, maybe more. Just a great family opportunity. It's at 8:30. You can sign up there. You can sign up at any Thorbeck's. They've got T-shirts. I'll be passing out water bottles. There's lots of goodies and fun. But the most important thing is that all the proceeds go to support groups like the Chehalis Foundation, the Boys and Girls Club of Lewis County, and that's what it's all about. It's about I'm so thankful for my community and our community, and we do this not only to have fun, but to give back to the community. And I, again, couldn't be happier about how this partnership with Thorbeck's has gone for a decade now, and hope if you want to join in. Turkey Trot tomorrow morning in Chehalis at Thorbeck's, 8:30. It's a 5K. It's a fun run. If you don't want to run, you can walk. People just dress up and have a lot of fun.
They do. I remember seeing people from all the last couple of years, and Amber and our family's done it several times in the past. They're wearing their tutus. They're having fun just running. It's fun for the entire family. I've seen folks pushing their kids in strollers, people walking their dogs during this event. Yeah. Matt and Andrea, they do it right down there for sure.
Yeah, it's been a great partnership, and I'll tell you, when you go to something like a Turkey Trot, and it could sound cheesy.
Sure.
Boy, man, my heart gets so warm. I get that feeling of community. It almost brings tears to my eyes because I just remember as being a little kid how my parents had that tradition for me, and how you can just pass it on to the community, to do it here and to go to a good cause. You know, a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to wake up early on a Thursday. What is it called? Blackout for Wednesday, where people go out and
it really is
do the tower crawl. And
you know, I just heard about that.
Please drink responsibly.
If you don't call Peter's office, I'm just joking.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you.
You know, I know you don't.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't do that area law, but you know, Jake does. But in reality, I mean, please drive safely, drink responsibly. I think more people drink on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving than any other holiday, even New Year's. And so do that. But if you have the right faculties on a Thursday morning of Thanksgiving, please join us. Come say hi to me. Come say hi to the folks out there. And it's a really inexpensive way to have fun and get back.
Can they just show up day of? Can they show up tomorrow morning and run, or do they need to pre-register? Or do they need to do anything like that tonight or before the event?
Nope, you can just show up.
Okay.
You know, the race starts at 8:30, so show up 7:30 or 8 o'clock. They do and Efren does a great job. He does the whole stretching thing.
Okay,
and we all play music. And I think last year Matt had a giant TV and they were playing football from the East Coast. Like there was TV on and cartoons. It was a lot of fun. It's a fun party.
It's a good family event. And you know, the area that they run in is a nice area. You get to go see all the different parts of the area that you might just drive by. Yeah, it's kind of neat.
Yeah, they have flaggers. It's a safe route, and then you run through Penny Playground, and so again, at 8:30.
Well, thank you for being involved in that. That's this is one of several. Since we're talking about events that you're a part of and your firm supports, and then also another one that this radio station is quite supportive of. The Lighted Tractor Parade is coming up. I think this might be, it is the best of Lewis County. It's been the number one parade or a family event for years, but this is one that I think is it grew quick. And it's my favorite event for sure for the evening events. Yeah, no, Centralia Downtown Association. I was actually on the board when they started doing this. Okay.
So it's really great to see it evolve. Manny McDougal organizes it and does an amazing job. And I would say for the last 10 or 12 years, they've asked me to help announce.
Okay.
And we get KELA, KMNT out there. The announcer stage is on the corner of West Magnolia and Tower right by O'Blarney's. We have a stage. Big speakers. I announce all the parades as they go through. We play Christmas music. We pass out candy canes. A great event, and that's on December 14th, the Saturday. Come on down, enjoy it. Hot cocoa everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it is another great community event. Tens of thousands of people
come out
to that from all over the region for this parade, and
it's huge.
Couldn't be more thankful for KELA for helping announce.
Yeah.
Manny McDougal and the Centralia Downtown Association, but the city of Centralia. I mean, too. It is a group effort. If you've never been, boy, you're missing out. We live stream it here on KELA. But definitely show up on that December 14th.
Yeah, no, we do the same thing at the Chronicle. It's an event that all of our reporters love to cover. The photographers love it. And, we're over at the office because most of the time it's kind of cold and we have younger kids that like to watch it. So we all sit inside the office and some of the parents go up on the roof and watch. It's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've done, like I said, I've done it for 10 or 12 years, and every year I am freezing cold, can't feel my toes. People are like, "Oh, you're so lucky to announce it." I'm like, "Am I though?" I'm out there for like 4
my
hours.
My nose is frozen,
freezing, and
you're getting hypothermia.
And it's hard because I don't think I've ever watched one with my kids because I'm always announcing. So I try to bring them up so they can hang out with me for a little while, but. A great way, again, to give back. I love doing it. Love the community energy during that parade. And so
it's fire for sure. Absolutely.
It is. Is that what are you, a millennial? It's
fire? No, I'm trying to use some of the new words so the Gen Z listeners understand what we're talking about.
Is that lit?
Fire. It's lit. Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be off the hook.
Okay,
I
think that's pretty old.
That might be old, yeah.
I don't know if I'd use that one.
Yeah, the Lighted Tractor Parade, definitely a Lewis County favorite for sure.
Yeah.
Just staying on that topic too, in the event that KELA goes out of service here, I want to make sure we talk about the Forgotten Children's Fund.
Yeah.
Not that a power surge could happen, but this is one that we need to talk to about before the break, at least.
Yeah, Kim Witham is going to be on the show, and I'm actually going to be hosting it on December 6th. We're going to talk a little bit more about this, but Forgotten Children's Fund, a great organization that works with schools and counselors to identify families in need and students in need.
They give bikes away, and
we give bikes, we give presents, we give books, we give food, we give gift cards. And my wife and I have been lucky to be part of this. I dress up as Santa.
Nice.
I do wear a fake belly because, boy, I need to gain some weight during this time of year. But
well, the six-pack doesn't work with being Santa.
I wish I had that.
I got
too.
you.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's another great event. Really thankful for them. There's so many families in need, and the Forgotten Children's Fund gives them an opportunity to have a good Christmas, right? I mean, because kids can't, don't determine, their parents' wages or jobs. They don't always have that ability.
Yeah.
So we got to make sure that these kids don't fall through the cracks, through intergenerational type poverty, and we at least give them hope, right?
Yep.
So we're going to talk more about that on December 6th.
That's wonderful.
And while we're talking about this, I'll give a quick plug before our break.
Yeah.
Before we get into legislative and politics stuff.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk
the
about.
Polar Plunge.
Yes.
I've been organizing that with Ruben Ramirez at the Centralia Police Department for many years. Mayfield Lake, January 25th. You can go to my Facebook page, my Twitter, anything, and sign up for our team, the Lewis County Icicle Brigade. Last year we raised $7,500, goes directly to Lewis County Special Olympics athletes. The Polar Plunge is on the 25th at 10 a.m. at Mayfield Lake. A blast.
It really. So
and the Chronicle is a huge supporter.
We're
of this,
here.
so
We're there. We live stream this every year, and our employees, they participate. Franklin, my son, I think he has jumped in with you for several years now. Aaron Van Tile's even made it out there.
Yep. I mean, appreciate him.
Yeah. It is such an amazing event. Not just the idea of jumping into Mayfield Lake in the middle of winter, which is crazy in and of itself. But if you go out there, you will get to witness and experience the joy and the absolute excitement from kids that just are so, I guess, I don't even know how to put this, but when you see a child with special needs get excited about jumping into a cold water because they believe that they are helping somebody else, because that is the look on their face and the reaction that they get when they're part of something, and this something is huge, and it's bigger than them, and they know it. And it's amazing to watch.
It is.
I don't know.
And look, we have first responders, police, warming stations. I mean, it's safe. We have it roped off on the beach. But there, I mean, you've been at
a lot of them, yeah.
And I'll tell you, I say this over and over again. I hope it's not something that ever gets old. Cold feet, cold hands, but warm hearts. I mean,
yes,
it is amazing how this community comes together to provide sports and opportunities for our Special Olympics athletes. It is an expensive thing to do, and a lot of kids would lose out if we didn't step up. So January 25th, Mayfield Lake, 10 a.m. Please go to my Facebook page. Lewis County Icicle Brigade is ready to raise some money. So, hey, I'm getting cute,
That's
so
right.
I'm going to do this. All right, we're going to take a quick break for our sponsors. We'll be back, and we're going to talk legislation, politics, and all that other stuff on KELA AM140.
Absolutely. See Bear back.
Hi, this is Heather Stewart with Blade Realty. Normally I would talk to you about the current real estate market and how it looks moving forward. But let's pause that for a moment. It has been said that thankfulness creates gratitude, which generates contentment, and that causes peace. So today I'm thankful for my family, my friends, my community, and for all the wonderful people I've had the opportunity to work with this past year. As you take the time to reflect, I hope you find many things to be grateful for, and that you find contentment and peace through the holiday season.
Harry Ritchie's Jewelers is celebrating 68 years. What better way to party than with huge deals? Now through December 2nd, save up to 69% off fabulous jewelry gifts during their birthday sale. They have limited quantity steals you don't want to miss, and nearly everything is on sale. So come party and save big this season. Harry Ritchie's Jewelers, getting gifts right since 1956. Your local Harry Ritchie's is in Chehalis at the Twin City Town Center. Only in stores while supplies last.
All into savings at Home Carpet Warehouse. What's the best thing about living in Southwest Washington? Football season? Hunting? Salmon fishing the local rivers? Or world-class albacore fishing off our coast? No, it's the Fall into Savings event at Home Carpet Warehouse. All your favorite fall colors and more from the guys that guarantee savings. For 30 years, Home Carpet Warehouse has been supplying Southwest Washington homes and businesses with all kinds of quality flooring to fit your needs. Check out Home Carpet Warehouse's huge selection of wall-to-wall carpet, waterproof flooring for anything life throws at you, solid and engineered hardwood, ceramic tile, and a huge selection of 12 and 13-foot wide sheet vinyl. Top it off with solid surface countertops and Hunter Douglas window fashions, and turn your house into your dream home. Ask about Same as Cash Financing OAC. Voted the best for over 20 straight years. Home Carpet Warehouse. Across the street from McDonald's and Staples in Chehalis.
Okay, and now back to business.
Listen on the air and online.
KELA. Let's talk about it.
Oh, yeah. Hey, welcome back. You're listening to KELA AM140. Let's talk about it. Special guest Peter Abbarno is in the house with us this morning. And, fastest 30 minutes of radio like we talked about at the beginning. 15's gone. We're going to hit the next 15 pretty hard. We have one of the, I think, most influential legislative members here with us right now. So if you have any questions that you'd like to ask somebody with that much power, I would give us a call right now.
Maybe local, aside from Orcutt and Braun.
well, they're Braun's in the Senate. You're in the House. Yeah. Orcutt is wonderful for sure. But yeah, locally we have Representative Peter Abbarno here with us, and they just had some pretty important caucus meetings up at the House. And a caucus meeting first. Tell us what a caucus meeting is for people that don't know.
So what caucus? The caucus is each party has a caucus. It's where all your members come together. Democrats have their Democrat caucus. Republicans have their Republican.
It's basically
caucus.
A meeting.
Yeah, and so the two major caucuses get together, and every 2 years you go to a reorganization where you have to elect your leadership, your leaders, your deputy leader, your caucus chair, or the executive leadership 1, 2, and 3, and then you have your floor leadership team and the whip.
So you basically have term limits on those, and you reelect them every year.
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years.
Yeah.
What's a whip? For people that don't know what a whip is.
A whip is, and our whip is Dan Griffey. Dan represents the 35th. So if you live in Rochester area, you may be your legislator.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He yells at us to tell us to get to caucus. So he whips us, right? He communicates. He assigns your office, your parking spot. Make sure you're getting what you need, and then make sure that when we are in caucus or there's some special meeting that he calls everyone, make sure everyone gets into the meeting.
So does he help build the votes, make sure the votes are there? Is that what he's doing, or is he just making sure people are at the meetings?
He's not whipping votes as much as he whips just to kind of get us into the room and make sure that we have a quorum.
Okay.
Keeps us on schedule for those types of things. So
I definitely understand the term now.
Yeah. So
that's good. Yeah. So you guys just recently had these elections.
Right.
Were they contentious? Were they good? Were they pretty? How was the mannerism in the room?
I think so
people excited.
This is my third, because I'm just going into my third year or third term. So there's always a Monday morning quarterbacking, right? You're always going to look backwards and say, what did we do wrong? What did we do right? And then what do we look to the future? And how do we want the public and the voters to see our caucus? And House Republicans. So there's a little bit, but I would never say it's contentious. The caucus is like a family, so there's a lot of getting along and a lot of not getting along.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, we understand what we need to do, and we understand our districts, and we really want to gain seats and move the policy discussions in our way. So
the idea of singing from the same sheet of music at the end of the caucus meeting, that's where you guys are at. It doesn't matter how who ran against who or who voted against who. At the end of the day, after the election, the votes counted. You guys fall in line and support each other to make sure that your, the family values of the party get taken care of.
Yeah, I don't know if we fall in line as much as we try to recognize we're all in the same boat when we need to row in the same direction.
That's a good way to put it.
Drew Stokesbury was elected as the leader. He was reelected. Chris Corey was elected as deputy leader. And then I was elected as the Republican Caucus Chair.
So as the Caucus Chair, what are some of your responsibilities what does that come with? Because you could be a member of the body and not be on the executive team. So as the executive team, you have another set of roles that you have to fulfill. What are yours now? What were you before, and then what are you now, and is it different?
Yeah, so I was an assistant floor leader before. So Caucus Chair runs all the meetings.
Okay.
So so I run the meeting with my little gavel and try to make sure that our discussions about bills and policies are going in a certain direction. Like, you don't have an unlimited amount of time to debate things on the floor,
Right.
so we have to work. And so I work with the floor team to make sure we have a good communication. We hit our points. The caucus understands what they're voting on, and that we help with the leader and deputy leader to develop the messaging and the direction we want to go. In addition, in this new role, I'm also work with our county Republican chairs, the Washington State Republican Party, and others. And I'm also the conduit between our caucus and our statewide elected officials like the governor and lieutenant governor.
Wow. Okay.
So that's kind of my role as caucus chair, and it's a little different role than I was as a floor leader team, which
Sure.
really just runs the debate on the floor. It's an important role. They're all important roles, but definitely a new position.
So as the caucus chair, would that be similar to like I guess I always think of Mitch McConnell when it comes to the person that was responsible for advancing or not advancing a member's bill or making sure it gets brought to the floor and things like that. Do you control that kind of stuff within the caucus as well? Like what bills advance and what you guys support and don't support, or at least give the members the ability to support by bringing them up in the caucus?
Yeah, I mean, any member can support whatever bill. I mean, it may not even be a bill that I support, but we do work together as a leadership team from floor leader team up to leader on trying to put together a package of legislation to help fix Washington.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we help with that, but it's really a team effort, and you have to be very responsive and dynamic because you never know what the other side's going to do and what they're going to advance. You already have an idea. After December, the first week in December, which is pre-filing, you'll have a really good idea what kind of session it's going to be. Whether House Democrats are going to be addressing kitchen table issues, or whether or not they're going to stick to the kind of the fringe stuff. Environmentally responsible fashion,
Right.
weird things like that are starting to percolate up. So.
Yeah. So with that being said, let's talk about, I guess let's hypothesize on what this next session could look like. Or I'd like, if you looked into a crystal ball, what do you think this next session is going to look like? Because it's a long one, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's 105 days.
Wow.
So it's a long session, but legislators work all year long. I mean, we've been in committee meetings and doing things on policy wise for the whole year. Well, I think it's going to be interesting to see with a new governor what dynamics the House Democrats are going to have. I mean, they're the majority party. We've had 40 plus years of Democrat governors, 24 years of House Democrats in control, 8 years of House Democrats. It is a straight monopolizing government right now. So, whatever they want to pass, they technically have the votes to pass. Republicans have done a really good job, even in the minority party, to stop legislation, to work with our county chairs, our state party, and also just our voters to raise concerns.
You guys still have budgetary, cap budget. You guys, there's still a super majority that has to be had to pass a budget, right?
Yeah, I mean, capital budget's one that has always been very bipartisan because it's a bond budget. Whether that stays that way, you never know. I mean, just because it's a bond budget doesn't necessarily mean you have to be in the room. But we've always forced ourselves in the room with that vote to say this needs to be balanced. And the chair of capital budget's always been very good about doing that.
That's good.
I don't anticipate that changing. But it'll be pretty interesting. I mean, look, the last 4 years have been very fringe related. National politics aside, it's interesting listening to Democrats cry and complain about the fact that Congress and the White House are all Republican. Well, for generations, that's what Washington's look like.
Right.
And there's not a lot of transparency or accountability in Olympia when one party controls everything. And it's our job as Republicans in the legislature to, shed light on what's going on, hold them accountable, make
Right.
sure the voters know there's transparency. And we've been very successful in the past to push back on bad policies.
Yeah,
some,
you have.
Some we've been able to moderate a bit, some we've been able to kill. And that's kind of the position we have is, we've got some great ideas. I think they're going to pass. We're going to have to moderate some of their ideas, and we're going to have to really work hard to stop some additional bad policy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you guys have forced their hand on several things, and you've had to use other means to do that. I mean, the initiative process has been one of those areas where, you guys have worked hand in hand with some of the folks out in the community to help get bad bills fixed or destroyed. The police pursuit one was one of the ones that your team helped a great deal on, and quite frankly, it made Washington safer.
Yeah.
And I know I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, recriminalizing possession of dangerous drugs is another one that Senator Braun and I both helped negotiate. Look, we've had some great partners in the community. Let's Go Washington's been a great partner. Building Industry Association of Washington has been a tremendous supporter to help try to stop the phase out of natural gas. Now, the Building Code Council still is resistant to that. So it's not over yet. I mean, that just because the initiative passed 2066, we're going to have to keep fighting.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
But look, I mean, I was also co-chair of the House Republican Organization Committee, which is the political arm of the House Republicans.
HROC, as we all know it.
Right.
Yeah.
And we raised more money in this cycle than we raised in the last cycle. By a tremendous amount, and the two cycles before that by like $500,000.
Yeah, huge victory there.
We ended up getting some amazing freshmen elected. Gloria Mendoza, Deb Majerez are two of them in the 14th district that the court redistricted to say that, to try to almost make it a blue district.
Right.
We won those two seats.
You sure did.
We've got amazing freshmen coming in the House Republican caucus. I'm excited about that. And I think they're going to add to this debate and discussion, and we're going to be stronger this year than we were 2 years ago.
Yeah, without a doubt. Do you think that there's going to be any, repercussions for Washington State as a whole when it comes to federal money coming into Washington because of some of the policies the Democrats have been pushing over the last couple of years? Education being one of them.
It's hard to comment on what the federal government's going to do with the state government. I mean, I'm very disappointed in the Governor-elect Ferguson. He was, elected, and almost the next day started attacking the president in Congress when there was really no need to. I mean, my view would be we hope that there's a good relationship between the state and the federal government. But, if you're going to be the governor-elect and start attacking the president before the president even was sworn in,
right,
that doesn't bode well for a good relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not bipartisan. I don't think Washington really likes that.
No, they don't. I mean, I don't think so either. But what are your thoughts on all these governors openly saying that they're going to try and resist and push back on the federal government stuff? Like the immigration is one of them, where you have governors openly admitting and saying that they will not help and assist with a federal immigration acts that they're coming down with. I mean, one of the plans was, hey, the first batch of immigrants that are here illegally that will be tried to be deported are ones that have already went through the system. There's over 1 million of them that have went through the system. A judge has said, you are not supposed to be here. You need to go back to your home country, and they're not going back. Those are the first batch they want to get rid of. And there's governors out there saying, we aren't going to help you. They're not doing. They can come here and stay.
Well, and most of the listeners on this show probably have watched it too. I mean, we just watched a trial about an illegal immigrant who killed a woman. And that's happening too much. I mean, I think Bob Ferguson, to keep our country and our state safe, should work with the federal government to make sure that people who are dangerous in our country
absolutely
leave our country. And then the folks who went through the right process, who are here legally, they get the right to stay here and be productive, because we need checks and balances, and I'm hoping we get those. So
we definitely do. Man, the fastest 30 minutes in radio goes fast, doesn't it?
It goes real fast.
Yeah.
Not just the fastest, the best.
It is the best. Peter, thank you so much for joining us. Coming right up is the Dan Bongino Show. But first, you're going to get the Fox Morning Update. Peter, you want to take us away?
Thanks for listening to Let's Talk About it on AM 1470 KELA and KELAAM.com. Have a great Wednesday and hope to see you at the Turkey Trot tomorrow morning, 8:30 at Thorbeck's in Chehalis.
Stay informed.